Nightmares times 4. I had the house all to myself. So, how come I wasn't enjoying it? My parents were away, so I could do as I pleased. Play my music at full volume, eat whatever I wanted, smoke and drink beer. Yeah. I'd had a pleasant evening, watching 2 truly awful horror movies. But now it was already after midnight, and time I was in bed. Thank God tomorrow was Saturday. So I flopped. And that's when it really hit me. I really was alone in the house, all by myself. I found myself lying there, listening to the silence. And it was quiet. Too quiet. I was starting to get creeped out, so I checked my phone, and sure enough, Mortis Media had released a 3-hour compilation. A 3-hour and 33-minute compilation. So I pulled it up and let the darkness take control. I was jarred awake by a commercial for an online grammar program. I closed YouTube and shut my eyes, ready to go back to sleep when I heard a tremendous smash. The sound of breaking glass and splintering wood. It seemed to be coming from the side of the house. Someone had kicked in our side door. I heard loud stomping feet come pounding down the hall, and before I could get out of bed, they were in the room, throwing a dark tarpaulin over my head, completely blinding me. I was pulled to the ground and held there, unable to move, unable to see, as they bound my legs and tied my hands behind my back. The tarp was quickly whipped away, but my eyes were blinded with duct tape and my mouth taped shut before I could demand, "Who are you? And what are you doing? What do you think you're doing?" Of course, I knew what they were doing. It was a home invasion. But why rob us? We weren't rich. I was thrown heavily to the floor, and I stayed there. But while I couldn't see or move, I could hear them whispering, pulling out drawers and smashing things. They were obviously looking for something. But what? Finally, I caught one of the harsh whispers. "Are you sure this is the right house? I thought you said it was number..." And the number he gave was not the number of our house. Rough hands ripped the duct tape away from my mouth, which hurt like hell, while a rough voice growled, "What's your last name, kid?" I told him, and he swore, adding, "It's the wrong damn house." And then he slit my throat. Slit my throat. Fun fact, the last thing you feel when your throat is slit is the spurting of your blood. I woke up, convulsed by sheer terror, only to sink back in sheer relief. It had all been a bad dream, a nightmare. But I had just shut my eyes again when I was jarred back to full consciousness by a loud metallic crash from down below, which shook the foundations of the house. It had come from the basement. But what was it? What could have fallen over like that to make that much noise? I had to investigate. I didn't want to, but I had to. I went into the kitchen and opened the door to the stairs leading down to the basement. I stood there a moment, calling out, "Hello?" Which was stupid. Who could possibly be down there? And so I started down thinking, This is like a scene in every cheesy horror movie ever. I was most of the way down the stairs when a hand reached out from below and grabbed my ankle. I fell forward, my head hitting the cold concrete floor, stunning me. And then someone swung a meat cleaver and severed my right hand. The blood jetted from the stump and hit the nearby wall. I just had time to turn my head when a shadowy figure swung the cleaver for a second time, slashing my throat and nearly cutting the head from my body. The last thing I heard was the splattering of my blood. I woke up, almost sick to my stomach, and then I positively shuddered with relief. I was safe in bed. It had all been a bad dream. But I heard a noise from the living room. Someone was moving around, softly, trying not to be heard. I waited a moment, wanting to make sure there really was someone there. And then the noise came again. "Hello?" I called out. "Hello?" The noises stopped immediately, but I had no doubt that someone was lurking in the living room. And there was nothing for it but to get out of bed and investigate. I slipped out of bed, moving quietly down the hall in my bare feet, trying to sneak up on the an intruder in my own house. A man stood in the living room. A man in a dark suit, white shirt, black tie, a middle-aged, rather benevolent-looking gentleman who reminded me of the old movie actor Claude Rains. I was so shocked by both the man's presence and his appearance, it took me several moments to blurt, "Who are you? And what are you doing here? Sir?" The strange man, the intruder, didn't reply, just stared at me with a sardonic smile on his handsome face. And then he began to change. It was subtle at first. His countenance seemed to darken, coarsen. Long gray hairs began to sprout all over his face. His ears began to elongate. His nose sharpened into a snout, and his head became that of a wolf. His suit seemed to explode and shred from his body as he fell to the floor, landing on 4 legs, a gigantic wolf. I hardly had time to process this transformation when the huge wolf leapt up and knocked me to the floor, where its long, dripping fangs sank into my throat before tearing it out. And I found myself back in bed. Gosh, another bad dream. It must have been something I ate. Darn anchovies. Oh well. Back to sleep. If I can. And in the end I slept. And as I slept, I dreamt that a thin coil of smoke began to flutter in the corner of the basement where we had our washer and dryer. An electrical fire slowly filled the basement, and then the upper floor, filled the basement and upper floor with thick, acrid smoke, which made me cough in my sleep, but not wake up. The basement ceiling suddenly exploded into flame, and soon the whole house was on fire. But I didn't wake up. Still, if it was just another bad dream, I'll wake up and everything will be fine. Still, I can almost swear there's smoke. But when I wake up, it will all be normal. Just another weird dream. Another nightmare. When I wake up. Hey, it's smoky in here. Wake up. Hey, I want to wake up. Enough of this crap. This weird crap. I want to wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. But I didn't wake up, for I had died of smoke inhalation just before my bedroom became a funeral pyre. The moral of the story? A bad night's sleep can leave you feeling burned up. Burned out. If this is your first visit to my channel, please consider subscribing. My name is Warren, and I write and tell original ghost stories and original horror stories featuring such cryptids as the Night Floaters, werewolves, and the Black-Eyed Children. So again, please consider subscribing. Please help me to reach my goal of 2,500 subs in 2022. Please. Till midnight. Cheers. Pictures used in today's video, courtesy of Pix Here, that's PX Here, while the music was the haunting and atmospheric Aftermath by that patron of the internet, Kevin MacLeod.